Have you ever tried to bake a cake without an oven? Could you build a house without hammer and nails? Would you want to design an app without access to technology? Whether you're talking about baking a cake or creating an app, you can't do it without the proper tools. That's also true of thinking. If you want your little learner to become an innovator, you must give them the right tools they need. Calculator, computer, crayons. We're all set, right? Wrong. The tools we need aren't something we can carry in our backpack. They're tools we can carry in our mind. We need experiences to help us learn and explore new ideas. Curiosity. Let me be curious. Let me investigate. Let me explore. Let me play. Yes, I said it. Let me play. When I learn through my play, I'm engaged. Being engaged makes it easier for me to learn new skills. But curiosity alone might not be enough to help me be the next great thinker. I'm going to need other tools in my toolbox, like the ability to make a decision. It sounds simple, I know, but if I'm going to be an innovator, I'm going to need to understand how to make choices. Dr. Julie Roberts is going to share why this is important.
Choices give children the opportunity to think and to make decisions. At home, one of those choices might be to look at 2 outfits to wear that day and to give the child not a choice of what's in the closet, but a choice between the 2 outfits. It could be at school having 2 activities and giving the child the opportunity to decide which one he or she wanted to do, maybe even which one they wanted to do first.
Another important thing I need to do is recognize patterns. You might be thinking red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow. But I'm not talking about those kinds of patterns. Beth Schaefer will explain a little more about how children notice patterns in their daily lives.
Those very first patterns are actually routines. I get up in the morning, I run to the restroom, I go down for breakfast. That's the very first pattern that children begin to actually internalize. And then from that, they start taking that knowledge outside the box and using it with looking at the life cycle of the flower. They don't have to be in 5th grade studying the life cycle to understand that they plant a seed, they water it in sunshine, and it grows.
See, all my learning is connected. If you give me a hook when I'm little, then I'll have something to hang my hat on later. Teach me about noticing daily patterns when I'm 2 or 3. Then when I'm older, I'll be able to notice patterns and connections in other areas, like phases of the moon. Speaking of noticing patterns, that brings up another really important skill that is sometimes overlooked: making observations. It sounds simple, but asking us what we notice about an activity or surroundings really makes us think about what we see.
It is very important for children to be observant. That is one of those things that in the scientific process is the beginning step.
If you ask me what I notice, it also lets me know that you value what I'm thinking. It makes me feel like you believe in me. If you want your little learners to share their big ideas, we have to know you think our thoughts are important. Making observations, understanding patterns, making choices, and being curious are all important. But how we learn is just as important as what we learn. Dr. Roberts shares a little bit about the types of learning experiences we need.
I am very fond of learning experiences at home and at school that are both hands-on, minds-on. Hands-on, your child is involved in the activity, but doing it and not thinking about what he or she is doing or learning. So minds-on is a dimension that is so very important. You're talking to the child about it. You're reviewing what they learned after they engaged in an activity. And I would much rather have a minds-on activity than a hands-on activity.
I agree with Dr. Roberts. Hands-on is important. It's what makes learning fun. But an engaged mind is also important because it's what makes learning real. Beth Schaefer adds to this idea by talking about the difference between focusing on a product and focusing on a process.
And we also limit ourselves to products and not processes. And to me, that is just critical that we understand that learning is a process, not a product. You know, every child can bring home a worksheet that's done. They can bring home a Christmas wreath they've made for mom. But the process that they've made that, whatever it is they've brought home, is the critical part, not the end product.
As kids, we sometimes get hung up on the right way to do things. Can you tell me the right way to build a house or the only way to bake a cake? There isn't just one way to do either of those things. If we count on you to help us learn that real problems have many solutions. Nancy Houston has some great ideas about how to do this.
Just opening up the world for them to see. It involves letting them ask questions. It involves helping them try to find the answers to those questions. It involves letting them explore, you know, letting them play with things that don't have one answer. Like, for example, you know, blocks have so many more possibilities than a toy that has to fit together in just a certain way, and that's the only way. So give them an empty box, give them boxes, tissue paper, give them things to explore. Don't give them things that have a right and wrong answer. Just give them time to explore their world.
Playing with toys that let me create, explore, and innovate sounds like an amazing way to learn, but we can't do these things without your help. How many times have you said, "She played with the box more than the toy"? It happens naturally because it's the type of thinking we are born to do. We just need you to help us develop our toolbox for learning.
Are great, innovative thinkers. I did that.
Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn.